Hey, all right, welcome to another video. In this one, like I talked about in the last, if you saw that, I've had a couple of the actual station. One was the stationary and one was the mobile door of our last patio door out of the house from the dining room and onto our deck. This is what I've been carrying around with me for like the last 5 years. And this is what I've been using on all of my tint projects. And it's just like a mobile, it's a sunroof that came out of like a warranty claim, Highlander or something. I used to work at a Toyota dealership. At one point in time, this was in a warranty exchange for some reason, I can't remember. Once you claim with warranty to Toyota, they will request whether they want the part sent back to them to complete the claim, or if they're willing to pay, they have enough information from a photo or description that they say, not worth shipping, go ahead and dispose of and get rid of at your leisure. So this was one that was getting ready to be thrown away, and I thought, hey, that would work great. My general practice is to not cut on the vehicle. I like to use a permanent Sharpie marker, put the tint on the window, cut it, or trace it, peel it off, and then put it on a glass to cut. So that's where this is going to come in handy. I'm really going to like to have a big open stationary spot. I can spray this down, put the tint up, cut around, and have it ready. So when I prep the window, all I have to do is peel off and apply. So this will come in handy for that. So I'm going to get after it and get this hung on the wall. just like that. 3 across the top, 3 across the bottom should be more than sufficient. It's just holding this in place as just a workstation. There's gonna be nothing but just spray it down, put tint on, cut, and apply. So it's not like there's any load bearing or anything structural. If this is gonna need anything tighter than just the 6 screws to hold that. So I'm happy with that. Looks a little ugly with the seams behind it, but the glass is nice and clean. It's gonna be functional. Again, in the future, when we get more of the cosmetic side of the garage in order, right now it's just been function. It's been getting the insulation in, sub panel, all the wiring, all the outlets, all the lights, drywall up, heater hung, extra outlet for air compressor, extra futures 220 for a welder when we get to that point. That's future, but we're just getting the function put together. Then we'll get the cosmetic as we move along. But I think what I'm going to do next is I did pick up from Menards today the piece that I need for this corner over here. Up in this corner is, if you look close, you can tell that there are a couple of wiring junction boxes. That was already in place. Rule is by code, any junction box has to be accessible within a wall. So since there's a wiring splice within there, we have to somehow had to come up with a creative way that we could enclose it, not leave it exposed. I don't want to see those junction boxes. So instead I kind of framed out, that little chunk there to come out. And then from those 5 ends of those 2x4s, which are attached into the framework of the wall behind, I got like a pre-finished white shelving that is going to trim to fit and fit up in there. And I'll just put some screws into those, and it's just gonna kind of float, and it's gonna be a nice clean finished look, but it's still gonna be easily accessible to remove that if I ever needed to in the future for an inspection standpoint, or splice into those wiring junction boxes that are behind there. It won't be considered enclosed. So let's go ahead and throw that up real quick while we're at it. That's it for today. I got a couple projects done. It actually would look like I made a bigger mess than actually I cleaned up, but that's all right because I made some progress. So did get the cutting board up. Looking forward to another project that I can utilize this and test it out. Get off using that sunroof, make that more of a mobile cutting station as it has been. Finally, after this long, getting to put together kind of like my workstation. I haven't had a garage that I can work in. This is what I've been calling my studio. and it's really starting to take shape. You know, declutter, get more of these things up, get a couple more shelves built, more organization. I'll keep playing along with that. I want to start kind of diving into more of a video series and documentary, and that's what this channel is really going to be about. And hopefully it'll become kind of an inspiration to, you know, some of you that are watching that kind of like want to have something. You're looking at a lot of these other YouTubers who have, you know, shops they're working in, and it's offloading a fair amount of money into project cars, and they got a lot of fun stuff. And so at first glance, that may seem like that's kind of unattainable or unrealistic, but reality is you can take a project like this, a small garage attached to the house at home, get some insulation, get some sheetrock up. All of these things are relatively inexpensive, and it's more just time. Doesn't have to be perfect. You know, I'm not a contractor. My dad has worked in construction for a long time. We've been doing some remodeling on the house. I've worked with him on projects at his house or other properties he's owned. So yeah, I guess I can say I'm familiar with it. I have a pretty good selection of tools that allow me to really advance into these things. So, but it can be taught. Tools can be purchased from Home Depot or Menards, or you know, whatever you've got close to you from a hardware perspective. And you can even find them if you find classifieds, get things used. But at the end of the day, all I'm trying to say is it's not unrealistic to put together something that you can work from at home in a spot that's not as fancy, lifts and all these other things like we were seeing others may have, but you can still enjoy, you can still get hands-on, you can still have some projects and really turn out some fun. And that's really what this should be about, is fun. So that's gonna end it for this video. Thanks for watching again. I'm gonna call it for tonight, and we'll see what comes up with for the next. See you then.